Here's every card that I bought this weekend at the Minnesota Card Show. I just spent my weekend in Minnesota hitting up the Minnesota Card Show. I grabbed over 1,000 cards while I was there, and I'm going to show you every single one that I bought. I'm going to talk a little bit about the show, but I'm going to do that as a voiceover because there's a lot of cards to show you guys. So without further ado, let's get to it. So as I said, we spent the full weekend in Minnesota picking up cards. I spent basically 2 full days at the card show, going through value boxes, looking for superstars, young prospects, rookies, you name it. So a lot of really, really cool cards. I'm going to talk more about the general experience of being at the card show rather than that of the cards that you're seeing on screen. There's too many cards. We're going too quick to talk about the individual cards. But at the show, I had a blast. It was really, really cool. I think that as you guys will see here, I picked up probably the best inventory that I've been able to pick up in such a great volume in a really long time. I spent under $5,000, so I have all of these cards individually at less than $5 a piece, which I think is a huge win for me. Obviously, there's going to be some cards here that are worth, a dollar or two, but there's also plenty of cards that are worth way more than that. I think that my averages will come out and ultimately work in my favor. And that's one of the big benefits of going to a big card show like this. You get so many more dealers. Traveling for me was awesome in that these were dealers, value boxes, etc., that I don't see regularly. We have a little local show here in Nashville that happens twice a month, and that's awesome. I love grabbing stuff there. The only problem is it's the same guys again and again and again. You got to wait for new inventory or new people to come to the show. So being able to travel, I felt like I saw so much more that I wanted to buy, which made a really big impact. I definitely bought less autos as I'm seeing autos kind of come by here. Less autos. I did pick up a good amount of patches, but I think that that's because mainly bigger name autos tend to cost more. And I was looking for value box stuff. I was putting together stacks of anywhere between 50 to 150 cards with each individual dealer. And the big goal there is by putting together a big stack, you can get a really good deal. If you missed my day 2 recap, I talked a lot about my experience with one dealer who I put together a really big stack of cards. It was probably 100 plus cards, and his sticker came out to $879. I'll be honest, I comped out some of the bigger cards, and they were anywhere between 10 to 20% over sticker comp, which makes sense. I'm a dealer. I know that people want to feel like they're getting a deal. So if the sticker if it's worth $20, put a $25 sticker and let somebody offer 20 of those so that you can get full comp. I get that. But put together a really, really big lot. I offered him 72% of sticker. In all reality, I offered really strong in terms of what I thought that it was valued in because it was a good lot. The cards were really good quality, and they were ones that I knew that I would do well with, sell at comps or maybe above comps on my Whatnot, which, by the way, every single one of these cards is going to be on Whatnot. The first kind of run that you actually saw at the start of the video here is all going to be on tonight's stream. That's April 22nd. But you'll see all of these eventually make their way into streams. But I was willing to pay strong because, well, I thought that I'd do well with them. But even with that, he told me that the best that he could do was being at 88% comp, which I get. Hey, they're his cards. I'm never going to tell somebody that, you should sell your cards to me at a certain price or this or that. Your cards, even if you can value it more than comps. I have no problem with that. The only reason any of this stuff holds value is, well, because we want to pay that price. And just because some other guy wanted to pay or wanted to sell it for low does not mean that I want to sell it for low. But when you get somebody coming in, this is my philosophy. If you guys disagree, let me know in the comments. When you get somebody coming in that is taking out a stack of 100 cards that you think is worth, let's call it $900. That's great. Easy. $900 for that lot. That's $9 a card. I know my guy Bigsy Rips. He is somebody who loves those cards, loves listing cheap cards on eBay. That eBay standard envelope is fantastic. But the amount of time that it not only takes to list 100 cards, but also then how long will it take for them to sell, your time to package them up, your time to ship them, your challenge of the eBay standard envelope getting lost, which we all know happens way too frequently. Maybe he values it that way. They're his cards. It's his right to do what he wants with it. But to me, I think I found that it was a little rough saying, hey, I value this so highly that I'll just take it to eBay. There's a reason why vendors will sell stuff I was buying all weekend generally between 70 and 75%, because when you put together a big lot of low end stuff, that stuff is hard to move. Unless you have Whatnot streams, unless you have a shop, things like that, low end cards like this are harder to move. They're just not as liquid. It's really labor intensive to list them and sell them. So a lot of times people are willing to put a discount. You got your value box. If somebody wants to come and take a full row out of my value box, that's great, and I'll put a discount on that. It's one thing to try and buy slabs at 70%. There were people buying slabs at 85 to 100% comp that had big signs set up. There's no way that I would expect to get that. But in terms of cheap value box stuff, that's definitely a lot harder to move. So thinking that you're going to get 88% is definitely, in my opinion, a little unrealistic. I had one dealer who is a great guy, really worked with me very easily. We were a little off sticker wise, and I did some trade. Plus, I came up a little bit on cash. He came down a little bit on cash, and that was nice, easy, good to go. And he started off at 65%. Started off because he knows that, one, he's somebody who sets up at a lot of big shows. He says, hey, I'll be in Nashville, come see me. As well as, two, he knows that somebody coming in buying 100 plus cards out of his value box is not. People like me don't come along every single day, every single show in terms of buying this cheaper, low end stuff. Not everybody has the reach to be able to do that. Not to pat myself on the back too much, but not everybody has the ability to sell such volume and do well with singles that are lower end. And I did. So it worked out well for both of us. I think that I'm going to do really well on this lot when all is said and done. And it's really great, again, going back to being able to have such high quality inventory and have such a good ability to just go in and get exactly the cards and players that I want. So frequently when you're trying to buy online and you're buying bulk lots from people, they want to move the whole lot. And I'm fine with that. I'll buy that lot, but I'm learning that I need to maybe be a little lower on price when buying those big lots, because there's probably just as much stuff that won't ever sell for me as there is that will sell for me. Whereas here, I know that every single one of these cards, with little doubt, is going to make it into an auction. At worst, they're going to be a good giveaway card. And I mean a good giveaway card. So being able to buy so much at a good average card a good average price per card, as well as knowing that every single card that I'm getting is one that is desirable, man, you can't beat that. And honestly, all that it makes me want to do is go hit up more big shows, do big shows. If you guys have a local big show that is worth coming to, I think that there needs to be enough vendors for it to be worth traveling to. But I definitely saw this weekend, it's only my second time traveling for a card show, and my first time traveling for a card show, third time. It's my second card show that I've traveled for that is not the National, because the National, I don't really count that as a show that I'm going to buy at. That's more of a industry conference, connect with other collectors, etc. Outside of Trade Night, because Trade Night can be really good. But it makes me want to travel more, but there needs to be enough that it's worth it in terms of your cost for flights, if you've got to do a hotel, rental car, etc. Luckily in Minnesota, I had family there, so it made it really easy that, free rental car, free place to stay, had a kitchen so I could cook some meals in terms of breakfast and dinner. So definitely cut down on my costs, but I want to travel more for shows, seeing that I'm able to grab stuff like this at such good prices, at such good volume. You're going to see me traveling for shows more, zero question. So I want to know if there's a good show by you that is worth coming out for. Love that Nashville has a big show 3 times a year, and that definitely is really helpful for me inventory-wise. But I also know a lot of the guys that end up there are the same guys that I see at my local show. So while it's big, the ceiling technically isn't as high because I see a lot of that inventory to some extent more frequently. But grabbing these, the archive stuff is super cool. Cosmic, all good sets that I want, players that I want, big names, is unique. And I'm really thrilled with this. I debated when buying duplicates. I'm sure you guys at this point have noticed, like, hey, there's a lot of that same player, same card. But if it's a good card, it's a good card. And I know that I stream so frequently that it's worth it from the perspective of, hey, I'm not going to put the same card 6 times into one stream, but if it's a card that will sell each and every stream, well, okay, cool, then that's easy enough. So really, really nice to do that. We're getting close-ish to the end here. I think we're going to start to see some slabs next, which is nice. I didn't buy as many slabs because, as I said, it's a lot harder to get those values on them. I still got deals on slabs. They're generally lower-ish end slabs, but being able to buy those as a part of bulk lots, what I generally do is I put the big stack together of the value box stuff, and then I'll pick out a few slabs here and there to maybe add into that lot. Because at that point they look at that and most dealers are willing to include that stack of slabs in the overall sticker price and work with me there, which can get me some nicer slabs for a better percentage than if I was just trying to buy slabs. But definitely need to get more slabs. Going to see what we can grade out of this lot as well. But overall, really, really pleased with it. Last few slabs here, pretty good. So as I said, pretty good. Definitely happy with all those pickups. I got to go through some of the nicer stuff there was, like you saw a Mookie Betts rookie card or a Trout numbered out of 50. Some of the higher end stuff I will go through and check to see whether it's not worth grading, because as I said, the slabs are the one spot where I didn't pick up as many. Still got a lot of good slabs, no question there, but in terms of percentages, I'd say slabs were maybe 5%, if that. So definitely want to see if I can grade some of that stuff, but most of it is just going to stay raw and let it move like that. That's fun. I like that it's lower cost for people to get it for their collections, whether they're trying to flip it, you name it. As I said, also, if you guys are interested in any of this stuff, it's all going to be available on Whatnot eventually. I get a lot of people asking me, can I buy this card? Can I buy that card? And it's tough. I want to be able to work with people. I want to be able to sell stuff, but the one-off sales, the reason that I buy stuff in such large quantity is because I can do it all in one foul swoop of a Whatnot stream. Doing individual transactions on those 1,000 cards takes so much time compared to what it is on Whatnot. So if you see something that you want, feel free to shoot your shot. It needs to be a price that is good enough for me to say, you know what, that's probably about what I'm going to net after shipping, because shipping I don't pay on Whatnot, and the buyer pays generally. Always shoot your shot, but most of these are going to end up on Whatnot just because of the logistics of it being so much easier to move. Really excited. We got a good stream tonight. Hope to see you guys there. And I stream every Thursday and Sunday generally. I pre-list my shows as well as all my inventory, so you can always go and see what shows I've got coming up, what things are going on. And if you're not already on Whatnot, the link in my bio is $15 for free. If you sign up, come on in, hang out. Even if you're not going to buy anything, it's fun to just come and chat cards. I love it. We generally have a baseball game on or chatting cards, prospects, etc. It's a really good time. Hope to see you guys there. And let me know in the comments what some of your favorite pickups that I had over the weekend were.